Oh man, so cool. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure, and thank you. It was a wonderful talk before too. It was really cool. And there's some tie-ins to the romance industry and the simulated soda industry, so we'll get into that in a little bit. But I think before we talk about what makes the soda simulation world do what it does, we should go into the history of it a little bit too. So the history of soda in video games. It's very important. In 1983, we have Tapper. Does anyone remember Tapper? So it was originally, it was originally called Tapper, and then it became Root Beer Tapper for another thing, but it was made by Budweiser, and it was, but they made the root beer version for the kids so they can have it in the arcades. It's a fun game. You slide the beers down the thing. Next, we have Pepsi Invaders. This is an extremely rare Atari game made by, well, it was commissioned by Coca-Cola, but it was made by Atari for a small soda drinking convention of like executives in Coca-Cola. And what it is, Pepsi comes in, it's basically a modified version of Space Invaders, and they come in and you gotta shoot Pepsi. And but Pepsi's gonna come back and do some video game stuff a little bit later. But so you're Coca-Cola and you gotta shoot Pepsi. In 1985, we have Super Mario flavored Shasta, which, as all of you know, first off, everyone wants to know exactly what Super Mario Brothers tastes like to drink, and they captured this perfectly in the Shasta. You also have cherry princess flavor, and you have apple Yoshi and Luigi berry, which have, if you've never had any Luigi berries before, they're very, very good. So, and maybe you might recognize this fellow here, Soda Popinski, exactly. And he wasn't as much drinking as many sodas in the game as much punching you, but it's good to mention him. He was a figure in the soda world in video games. But here's the best one, because the president has been kidnapped, and you have to save him, and are you bad enough to do it? The video game Bad Dudes. Now this is a very important part, which we'll get into later in the game. Exactly. So in Bad Dudes, and this is a thing that you see in many soda-related or video games in general, is the soda is often a power. So I have the hand over the soda. I'm sorry, I just wanted it. But what you do is you kneel before the soda and you pick it up, and it goes, got it. And then your life goes up, which is just like in real life. So, and this is actually the origins of a bonus soda, which we'll get into later. So, so that's exciting. And then this is kind of the opposite of it. Captain Novolin. This was a great game if you potentially drank too much soda or maybe whatever it is. It was a great game to teach you about taking your insulin if you have like diabetes, and it's just a good game. It's actually really good. So here we have Cool Spot, which proves two things. One, now you could take the character, like the mascot of a soda game, and bring him into a video game, or mascot of a soda, bring him into a video game, and it's a pretty awesome game, actually. But it also proves another thing. If you put shades on anything, even a red circle, it is so cool. It's like Cool Spot is a cool dude. If you ever meet him, he's awesome. And here we have the Coca-Cola Kid, which is based off of a movie, and this was which came out years before, but it's for the Game Gear. It only came out in Japan. So Coca-Cola's coming back with the game, but then Pepsi Man comes along. And if you've ever seen Pepsi Man, this is the best. You are tearing through the city, just picking up sodas, smashing stuff, doing whatever you gotta do to get that soda. And this is Pepsi Man. He wasn't a big character in the States, but in Japan he was huge, and it's totally awesome. So you also have more examples here. Mountain Dew, Halo soda, World of Warcraft soda, Angry Bird soda, and even Soda Saga Candy Crush thing, which my brother was showing me earlier, and I'm scared to touch it because it seems very addictive. And if I play a game, I just won't stop playing it. But there's a problem with all these, and I'm sure you all know what it is. And they're just games. You know, like, we need deeper digital soda experiences. We need emotionally challenging experiences that combine the accuracy of detailed simulations, ones of which like Microsoft Flight Simulator, or Sim Ant, or Roller Coaster Tycoon, or Farmville, with drinking soda. So there was a clear need. There was something that needed to be made. And I want to share the story with you. It was Soda Drinker Pro. How did it come to life? We'll get back to that. It was 4 a.m. on a Friday morning. I was really, really thirsty. And there was no sodas in the house. I didn't know how to make a soda. Taco Bell was closed. I couldn't drive and get a soda. So what did I do? I thought to myself, I'm like, well, and I woke up in the middle of the night like, first person shooter, first person soda. Well, okay, I'm just gonna get up and make a first person soda. And so I was like, all right, if we combine these two things, we'll get a first person soda. So from around 3 a.m. that day till around 11 at night, I started making Soda Drinker Pro. And this is the original version of it here, where you could press S to start, or C for controls, or A to learn more. And I remember that day, sitting in my room, just going to town with this. It was like with Blender and Python and all this stuff. And I was just like, this is gonna be the best game in my, this is gonna be fun. And I just remember my dad coming by and like, hey, what you working on? I'm like, Soda Drinker Pro. And he was like, oh, that's neat. That's cool. And then like I didn't really talk to anyone all day that day because I was too busy making these soda things. And I went to Taco Bell once it opened around 11 in the morning, got like 1 million tacos and like some huge sodas. I think I was drinking ginger ale that day. And I cranked out about 5 levels. And then by the end of the night, I went to see my girlfriend in JP at the time. And it was actually in Somerville, actually. It was in Somerville. And so now we're married, and she's cool. So, but I just remember, it was a close one. It was a close one because what happened was, I just, maybe not close, but I was like, hey, Ali, check this out, this is sort of going on, and then you should collect the bonus and everything. And I'm just like the weirdest psycho in the world. And like, I'm like, this is the, and she was like, yeah, that's nice. And she was supportive and wonderful with it and stuff. But I just remember the look on her eyes. I was like, oh, she thinks I'm crazy or something. But it was so cool. And she's helped me so much with it too. So I want to teach you how to play. We'll show you some demos later. And so it's just like any other soda simulation, but we took care of the main things. So as you see, you hold the soda just like this, and there's a soda meter in the upper left-hand corner. If you place the left mouse down, it sips the soda. If you place the right mouse button down, or the right trigger, depending on what console you're playing it on, it sips the soda. So you place the mouse to the soda, and then you sip the soda. It's a 2-button mechanic, which is very important because before that, it was just a 1-button mechanic. Before, all the other soda games were just you press a button, you drink it. And that wasn't realistic. We needed to get this right. So when you finish the level, when you finish the soda, you beat the game. There are bonus sodas in the game, and they don't actually do anything in the actual game. But in real life, they make you feel really good. So it's like, it's awesome. And there are no enemies in the game. You can't die in the game. You can fall off of things slowly into an infinite void, just like in real life. But that's about it. And there's over 100 levels of the game. But it started out as just 5 levels, and then things started growing. So I showed it to Allie, and then from there I didn't really do anything with it. I put it on Something Awful forums, and that was it. And it was like, hey, check this out. And it was like, that's all right. And at the same time, I made like a Golden Girls-based video game, which is pretty cool. But that's another story for another day. But I made all these other games, and it was an arcade game in actual arcades. A game called Pixel Clicker, where you actually have to only click on one black pixel. Yeah, you play that? Nice, awesome. There's another game. Have any of you ever played the My Girl video game? Yeah, nice. It's based on the movie My Girl, so that was another game I made. But it's a heartwarming movie where you get stung by bees and you die. But I felt so bad about that one. I feel bad. But the point of the game is to die by bees. After I made it, I'm like, this is gonna be so funny, and I'm like, I should have done that. It was horrible. So I felt so bad about that. But I was showing this game called Me and You, which actually never ended up getting finished, but some of those characters made it into another game, and it might come out someday. But I was showing this at a festival in Providence. It was an interview show, and this nice fellow comes up to me and he's like, we were just started talking about stuff, and he mentioned that he runs a soda club, and I'm like, awesome, that's cool. I made a soda video game once, and we were just like, that's cool. And we went our separate ways, and then he was just a lovely guy. And then about a year later, I got an email, and he was like, hey, are you the guy I talked to like for 5 minutes once about a soda thing? And he's like, and I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'm putting on a soda festival. Can you show your game at it? Yeah, that was awesome. So I almost didn't get it out because at the time I was collecting a bunch of like old computers off Craigslist that you buy for like $30, and you'd be like, I'm gonna make this to do something. And so I had all these old computers laid around, and the assets were on one. And then we pulled it together, and then Raymond, who's here, he's worked a ton on the game and helped me with it a ton. We ported it to Unity and got it ready for the Soda Festival, which is a soda social. And it was so fun. We almost didn't make it because it was winter. It was a huge snowstorm, and we couldn't drive down there. But I was like, anyone who would go to this, it was like I think a Sunday or something. Anyone who go to this, like a soda festival in a snowstorm in downtown Providence, is totally awesome, and I want to be there. And so we took the train down, and then the taxis wouldn't take us to the place because it was like too close, but it was still like a mile or two. So we're walking in the snow with these computers and all this stuff, and we just get in time to like do the presentation, and then we had to leave like right through that. So it was like the closest call, but it was such a wonderful event, and like it was true. It was like anyone who would be into this is like totally awesome, and like not just the game, but like the fact of like going to a soda festival in a snowstorm. That's more what I'm going after. So I want to be around those people, and it was just the most wonderful thing. And then so a couple days later, things started getting crazy. It was on like the front page of Mashable, and then the Wall Street Journal, and then kids in Germany were making bonus soda flavored cupcakes, and then all these different things started happening. Actually, to tie it in with the romance novel, there is erotic soda drinker pro fan fiction on the game. It's like really nice. It's like really heartwarming and stuff. And I read it. I'm like, yes, nice. So like it kind of captures the spirit of the game. But so we ended up. Kids kept on emailing me like, "Can you put this on Steam Greenlight?" And I was like, "Yeah, but like I want to make sure that people are actually interested in this." So I was like, I can put up a little PayPal button on the site. It said, "Can you send me 50 cents? It's about the cost of a soda." And if 200 people send me 50 cents, that'll cover the cost to put it on Steam Greenlight. It's $100. So I was like, we'll put it on there and see how it does. And then, like instantly, we got way more than 50 cents, $100 worth. And so we ended up making extra like real life bonus sodas and giving them to all the people who donated to it. And then we put it on Steam Greenlight, and like instantly it was taken down because they thought it was spam, so they didn't think it was a real game. So, but maybe someday. So we used the rest of the bucks to get a booth at PAX, and because that's where you show your games, So in 2013 we showed the first bigger version of Soda Drinker Pro, and it was wonderful. It was. But we had a secret surprise in it. Because what we didn't, around this time there's around 100,000 people who had the game, and we didn't tell them that we actually hid an entire other game inside of it. So, because I always wanted to feel like people could get a virus from my game, so because if you go to the website, there's totally pop-ups, and like there's like the person that goes like, "Hi, welcome to SodaDrinkerPro.com." That's what I'm going for with this. I haven't done it yet, but I had it for like 5 minutes. I was gonna put an exit pop-up, so if you tried to close the window, it's like, "Wait, don't you want to?" But I haven't done it yet, but I'm probably gonna. So we actually hid an entire other game inside of it. It's called Vivian Clark. It's a game based on a little bit of a inspired by a Harry Nilsson song, and also the TV show Mr. Show and all this fun stuff. And I'll show you a little bit of that later. But we actually built a whole game inside of it, and you can only access it through a secret passage. So it's like a game that's even bigger than a game hidden inside of a soda drinking simulation. And we did a Kickstarter for it, and it didn't do that great actually. It was like we tried our best, but it was kind of a weird time, and it wasn't there yet. So we rebuilt everything and learned from the mistakes on it. Leading up to that, though, November 2nd, Soda Saturday, and we did a couple new things with that. One was we added Oculus Rift support for it. So any Oculus Rift fans here? It's the leading technology in the virtual reality world. It's fantastic. So you can simulate a soda. This guy is awesome. He's got like a 2-hour video of him playing in virtual reality. I was thinking it would be awesome. I was thinking, I was like, oh man, I would love to do like one of those like things where, kind of like a David Blaine type thing, where you sit in virtual reality in a soda simulation for like 3 months. But I'm considering doing it, but it would be awesome if David Blaine did it. So we released it in the full version with over 100 levels and Oculus Rift support and all this stuff. It was wonderful, and it's been going great. So you can actually drink virtual reality soda with a cat. This is my cat Decaf is in the game. And we also have an augmented reality version of the game, which my brother made, which is you can drink a soda with a cat in real life. And share it with all your friends. It's available for Android, which is really fun. And we were just in the Humble Bundle, which was really fun. But one of my favorite things about all this, because it's a silly sort of thing,